5 and you're always broke, always coming short on paying your bills, never having enough, even though you've worked in this same company for 3 years, 5 years, 10, 15, even 20 years, have you ever stopped to consider the possibility that that the problem is not with you, that it's not that you're actually bad with money or that you're lazy? Have you ever wondered or stopped to consider that you might actually be getting underpaid? Yes. So the problem might be that you are underpaid. You've been working for 10 years, for 15 years, for 20 years, but you still struggle with paying your bills. You still struggle with creating emergency fund. You still struggle with generating your freedom fund, the money that you can set apart from your salary to help fund your future, fund your freedom in the future. You don't have it. You've been working for 20 years, for 15 years, and you look behind you, there's nothing to show for it. And you've been thinking that the problem is you. But have you actually considered that the problem might not actually be you, but you are being ripped off by your employer? You are being underpaid. Yes. So let me tell you a story, and then I will introduce you to the 7-day salary negotiation challenge to level up your income. Because I know that a great majority of you who listen to me are 9-to-5ers. You work 9 to 5, you're still employed. Some of you are business owners. Some of you are nearing retirement. Some of you are already retired. But like I told you, when it comes to creating wealth, there are 3 major skills for creating wealth. The first major skill is the skill to make money. And the next one is the skill to manage money. And then the third skill is the skill to multiply this money. You don't need more than that. The richest people in the world are using these same skills. Now, if you can't make the money, that is the primary skill. You can't even begin to manage it. So this is why tonight we are focusing on leveling up your income. This is why we're focusing on a 7-day salary negotiation challenge. And even if you're a business owner struggling to price your product, tonight is exactly for you. And so if you've been working and you have never felt like slightly nervous asking for more money from your employer, chances are that you are being underpaid and that you're being undervalued your whole life. And there's nothing more insulting to a man or to a woman's spirituality or identity than to be undervalued. And many of us have been undervalued, been working for 30 years, doing the 9 to 5 for 30 years, totally undervalued, going around totally undervalued. And that is the greatest insult anybody can give to your spirit. So let me tell you a very true story. Recently, a young graduate just came out of school, got his very first job offer abroad. He was excited, but when he showed me the letter, my heart sank. The salary was insulting. He was excited, but knowing what I know about employment, about human resources and how it works, I was really very sad for him. Because for the city that he was going to move to, he would barely be surviving, just enough to pay transport to work, to and fro. Couldn't even get decent housing. But you see, that was his first job. And he was very, very thrilled, but I wasn't, because I knew the real worth of this young man. Very true story. So now I told him what I'm about to tell you through this session. Hang on there, because at the end of it, I'm going to make you an offer of a free worksheet to be able to do this. And if you follow exactly what I'm going to tell you to do, you are going to come back 2 weeks from now to say, thank you that it worked. I'm telling you, if you do it, before the end of this month, if you follow exactly what I'm going to tell you, which is what I told this young man, you are going to come back 2-3 weeks from now, by the end of the month, to say it worked, because it did. Now, so one conversation, so I took him through what he should do. And this guy doubled the offer. He doubled the, before he even started the job, he doubled the offer using what I showed him, which I'm going to tell you. So, but here's what haunts me. Suppose he had not asked. Suppose he had not reached back to the people with this offer letter to say, this offer letter is beneath me. Thank you, but it is beneath me. I just shudder at what would have happened. He would have just gone on, taking something half that really, really beneath him. And then he begins to suffer, wondering, oh my goodness, I never make enough money to save at the end of the month. By the time I do my rent and do my food and grocery, that's it. And do my transportation, it evaporates. And then he gets launched, like millions of other people, into this never-ending cycle of never enough. All because he never asked. Now, so let me give you 2 secrets. Your employer banks on 2 things. I want to say engagement, actually, right? I want to say engagement. Type 2 things, everyone. Type 2 things, and then let me know where you are joining from, so I could use examples from your country if I do know about those. Just type 2 things. So your employers bank on 2 things. Number 1, they bank on your fear. They bank on your fear. You are afraid that you are going to lose the offer if you negotiate. If that has happened to you, please be honest and say, that was me. You had an offer from your employer. You had it. It was better than nothing. And so you didn't even want to negotiate. You were afraid because, oh my goodness, I've waited 2 years to get this job. I've waited a year. I've waited 5 years to get this job. Now I have it. I better just keep what they gave me. They know that you are afraid that if you negotiate, you will lose the offer. Yeah, look at it in the comment section. Yeah, that's me. That's me. Yes, that's me. That's me. It nearly happened to me, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I did when I was moving from Shell to Chevron. Because the first time I was employed in Shell, it happened to me. The offer and the level I was given was insulting. It was good, but you see, I felt I had no option. So I didn't negotiate. I just said, thank you, and I grabbed the job. It's Shell job. But looking back, I could have negotiated lots of things. But I was afraid, if I negotiate, maybe they would withdraw the offer and they will say, okay, we'll take the next candidate. If it has happened to me, to you, please say, that's me, in the comment section. Okay, the second thing, excuse me, the second thing that your employer banks on is your silence. Your silence. Because if you don't ask, they will keep the extra money. And that's what actually happened to the young man that I helped to double the offer they made him in his very first job. This thing, ladies and gentlemen, is very serious psychology. It's very serious employer-employee psychology. And if you don't understand that, you can't have leverage. So they bank on your silence. They bank on your fear that if you ask for more, that you will lose it. And they bank on your silence, that hopefully you will keep quiet. You will not ask. And therefore, they will keep the difference. That ends today. Because in the next 7 days, I'm going to tell you exactly, including the exact words to use that will make your employers to say yes, so that you're never underpaid again, for goodness sake. Many of you have been underpaid for 10 years, for 20 years. You never paid what you're worth. And you know it, but you are afraid. And part of that fear is because you don't know how to negotiate. Okay, so are you ready to claim your real value tonight? Say yes in the comment section. Okay, so now, so let me give you 7-day salary negotiation challenge. It's your crash course to learning how to finally get what you are paid. And it doesn't matter if you're an employee or you're a contractor or you're a freelancer. It's exactly the same thing. It happens. What I'm describing also happens to freelancers. So you're going to get the wise psychology to elevate your earning ethically, courageously, and without apology. Because you shouldn't apologize, you shouldn't be apologetic to earn what you're worth, to earn your value. Okay, so now let me tell you why most people stay underpaid. You weren't just taught to work hard, you were conditioned to not ask questions about money. Let me ask you, throughout your college education and even your secondary school and primary school, how many lectures or lessons or courses did you get on negotiating or on money? Especially if you read sciences like myself. But I doubt even people who were in the humanities or something. How many times did you learn about asking questions around money? We were not taught money. Throughout my university, my undergraduate, my postgraduate degrees, nobody taught me how to ask questions about money. So we were conditioned not to ask questions about money. So most people never negotiate their salary. Not because they don't want more. Is there anybody here who doesn't want more salary? You know, if you're earning salary, you want more. But because you have internalized fear, like I said earlier. So fear of sounding greedy to your employer, fear of being rejected, of being told no, fear of rocking the boat in the organization. So because of it, we just keep quiet. But here's the truth. Companies actually expect negotiation. They expect it. And then if you've gone for some high-level interviews for positions like I have, there's a question they usually would ask. And that question is tricky. Though that question is coming in different ways these days, but in a simplest form, they would ask you what you're expecting. Sometimes they'll ask you what you're earning in your previous place, and then sometimes they'll ask you, what are you expecting? Have you been asked that question? And then some of you just feel like peeing in your pants. You know, when they ask you, so what are you expecting? What should they pay you? They asked me when I was interviewing for the Chevron job. They flew me from Port Harcourt to Lagos for that interview. And then in the interview, they actually asked me this question. And I told them, I want you to pay me 4 times what I'm earning currently. I said it boldly. And the reason I was able to say that is I discovered that in negotiation, if you are negotiating from a point of weakness and you don't have options, it's not a good thing. So you really want leverage, because my leverage, I was already working in Shell. It was a comfortable job. So I wouldn't miss anything if they didn't take me in Chevron, and they knew it. Did they give me 4 times? No, they didn't, but they almost did 3 times what I was earning. And that was because I asked. Sometimes they ask that question to get a sense of your self-esteem, your sense of self-worth, how much you're worth. Okay, so companies expect negotiation. It's actually baked into the system, but many of us never know. So let me tell you this. Your silence is not humility. It is expensive. Your silence in that company is not humility, it's expensive. Okay, so let me talk about the number one mindset shift for negotiation success. The number one mindset shift for negotiation success. You don't get paid what you are worth. I wish I can drum this into all of your heads, okay? You don't get paid what you are worth. You get paid what you negotiate. You are not currently earning what you're worth. What you're earning is exactly what you negotiated or what was negotiated for you. Because if you don't negotiate, then they will negotiate for you. So stop seeing your job as a favor given to you. You're not, it's not a favor. Somebody employed you. My goodness, you're spending a quarter to 1/3 of your life working, trading your time for money. It's not favor. It's not favor they are doing you. But many of you think that your job is a favor. And maybe it's true if you're not really worth much. Yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, in some cases, it's actually a favor. Because, I go to some civil service offices. The people have made themselves so useless. They just stroll into the office 11 a.m. and then they feel that they clock in 7:30 a.m. But they got there at 12 noon. Then they stay there, watch television for 1 or 2 hours in their offices. I'm telling you what I've seen in some of these civil service offices. Shuffling their feet, eating amala, and they wedu inside the office, gossiping. And then at the end of it, they pack and they leave by 2. They're supposed to leave at 4 or 5. They leave by 2 or 1:30 a.m. And then at the end of the month, they collect salary. Yes, in that case, it's a favor they are doing you because you're totally worthless and unproductive. But if I'm talking to you, a real professional, skilled, and you are trading your time, your skills every single day, your energy, working in that organization, they are not doing you a favor. So stop seeing it. Because if you don't make that mindset shift, and you keep thinking that the company you're working for is doing you a favor, you will never negotiate what you're worth. So before we talk the first number, here is the mindset upgrade that you need to have. So your mindset upgrade should be that I bring value. I solve real problems. I deserve compensation that reflects the impact. That is the mindset you should come in with. As long as you actually creating impact. Because listen, if I'm an employer, I can't just pay you for being a deadwood. I pay for results. I didn't employ you there to do you a favor. I didn't employ you to, some people go to look for a job and they say, oh, please employ me. I got married and I don't have money to feed my 2 children. I don't have, is that why? That's not the reason people employ you. And then if that's why you got your job, no wonder you think that they are doing you some favor. So here's an assignment for you in this challenge. Make a note of it. Come back to this video, watch it again. But I'm also going to provide you and tell you how to get the free worksheet by the end of this session. So hang around until that. But this is what you're going to do. Write down 5 ways your work has improved revenue, saved time, protected the company from risk, or improved reputation in your organization or with your client. 4 things. So if you're an employee, or you're a freelancer, write down these 4 things. That's what's going to establish the mindset I'm talking about. These 4 things. Sit down, write down 5 ways. Many of us have never done this. That your work, your contribution has improved revenue, saved time for the organization, protected risk, or improved reputation in your organization. Okay, let me add a 5th one, which is also related to saving time, but improving a process. Maybe that when you joined the organization, that there was a process that used to take 7, 9 steps, and then you created an app or created an algorithm and reduced it from 7 steps to just 2 steps. And so instead of suppliers waiting for 6 months to be paid, they are paid in 6 days. Write down those things. The most profitable skill is learning to price your impact, not your presence. Did you just hear what I said? Because a lot of people just, they are pricing their presence. I go to work every day. I show up at the office every day. I clock 7:30 every day. No! The most profitable skill is learning how to price your impact, not your presence. Somebody should type it in the comment section. That should be an aha moment. Because if you're pricing yourself based on your presence, you're not going to earn a lot. Okay? If you're pricing yourself based on impact, there is no limit to the amount of money that you can make. Okay, so now let me give you the 3 levers of salary negotiation. Type it in the comment section because it is coming. The 3 levers of salary negotiation. This is the master class. Because those of you doing 9 to 5, if you must do 9 to 5, guy, you better be well paid. Otherwise, get out of 9 to 5, like some of us did. But if you must, then at least be paid what you're worth. So here are 3 levers for negotiation. Negotiation isn't begging. I hope you know that. It's strategy, it is psychology, and it is leverage. Understand these 3 things. So, number 1, the 3 invisible layers in every negotiation. The number 1 layer, invisible layer, is the value layer. Type it in the comment section. Value lever. That's the value leverage. What outcomes have you delivered? So before you go into negotiation for your salary, you must ask that first leverage. The first lever is the value lever. What outcomes have you delivered? You've got to be very clear about that because that's what you're going to bring to the negotiation table. If you're not delivering any outcome, no employer is going to give you a raise. On what basis? The second leverage, number 2, is the market lever. Type it, the market lever. And in the market lever, you're asking, what are others with your role earning in your industry? What are other people earning? So if a general manager in, say, Zenith Bank, for instance, if a general manager is earning $60,000, $80,000, I don't know what it is, in Zenith Bank, and then you are working in Wema or Skybank or Sterling at the same level, and then you're earning $10,000, then you should ask questions. You've got to use the market leverage. What does the market, how does the market price people at your level of performance, and then your role in the organizational structure? The third lever, and that's a good one, is timing lever. The leverage of time, the timing lever. Is this a strategic moment to ask? I mean, if there is a statutory announcement like the type that the banks in Nigeria just had recently for banks that are a little bit overexposed to loans, foreign loans and things like that, to borrow some risks to money that they borrowed and then they haven't paid. And then the central bank says, no more dividend paying, no more bonuses for your directors, no more this, no more that, no more expansion outside until you have made provision, until you have provisioned for this debt. That's the worst time to go ask for raise. It's not strategic because now they're all pulling back, they are all whatever. So you've got to be very strategic in timing exactly when to negotiate. And then the worst timing in terms of negotiation is when you are desperate. And the best time is when you are indispensable and calm, not when you are desperate. It's not when you are going to get married and then your people are putting you under social pressure to throw a very big wedding. That's a different subject altogether. I don't know why people are throwing such expensive weddings. You throw expensive weddings and then you charter 2-3 planes to fly everyone to Dubai to hold your wedding in Dubai and spend $500,000, $1 million on a wedding. And the stupidest thing is that most of those weddings like that don't even last 3 months and they're already having problems. So let it not be when you are desperate because you need money to wed or you need money to whatever you want, you're just desperate or something happened, you lost your father like I did a couple of years ago. And many of you from Africa know that burial is the stupidestly expensive thing I can think about it. I don't know why it is that expensive. People sell their properties, people sell land, sell houses to bury people who are dead. So they punish the living, make the living people poorer. And then for burial of somebody who is already dead and gone, doesn't even know what they are spending here. Okay? So your action step for this section is to Google the average salary range for your role in your region. Write it down. Okay, the next section is the impact inventory exercise. Please type it in the comment section. Impact inventory exercise. And by the way, if you're watching this and you are getting value, why haven't you pressed that love button? Can I give you just 3 seconds to press the love button right now? That like button, just press it. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're getting value and you're still here, press the love button. Do it right now. It's actually helpful. You know, I mean, it helps the algorithm to show this to people who need it. And if you are watching and you haven't subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now. I'm giving you 3-4 seconds to do that. And when you do, make sure you hit the notification bell so that as soon as I come live, you will get an email, you will get a notification on YouTube that I'm live. Because sometimes, I know we start at 8, but sometimes traffic or something happens and then we're starting at 8:15 or 8:30. But we always must have it, even if it delays. But if you subscribe and press the notification button, you will always know when I'm alive every weekday, Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. GMT +1. Okay, so the impact inventory, what is it? But first of all, let me just let you know that when the raise conversation comes, when your salary raise conversation comes, the person with the receipts wins. Receipts. That's what you're going to use to win. You're not going to use sympathy. It's going to be the receipts. So before you open your mouth, open your records. Go there prepared. Meeting those HR people and all that, go prepared. Okay, so what is your impact inventory? You are asking yourself, what projects have you led? What clients did you help retain? What deadlines did you save? What tech or policy or people improvements can be traced to you? The impact inventory is amazing. It's important. Don't just have it in your head. Make notes. This isn't ego. It's evidence. It's true that most organizations tell you, oh, work in teams, and then they reward you in teams. But there are things, even within the teams, traceable to what you did. For instance, I did a project for one of the oil companies that I worked with another colleague. And it saved that company $11.2 million. It had something with laying a 269-kilometer pipeline, offshore, and then to make a landing onshore, a gas pipeline. And so we used some modules and remote sensing and GIS and then some special modules to reduce the amount of materials that would be required, for instance, the cementing in the floor, the ocean floor, and all that, using some very complex algorithms. And we saved that company $11.2 million. That's the kind of receipt you need to have. That's the sort of thing you want to have in your impact inventory. Okay, so you can use this line to kick off your notes. In the past 12 months, here is how I've contributed to this company's success, to our organization's success. So you can use that as a prompt to brainstorm. So you'll consider in the past 6 to 12 months, how have you contributed to the success of the organization? Okay, so now in the next session, let me tell you exactly what to say. when you go for the negotiation. Because confidence is not loud, but it's very clear. When you sit with HR or with your manager at the negotiation table, do not say, I was hoping to get a raise. No, if you said that, you've already lost it. But what you can say is, based on the value I've delivered and the market rate, remember you've done that research before, based on the value I've delivered and the market rate for my role, I'd like us to discuss an adjustment in my compensation. Do you see how powerful that is? I told you it's psychology. So don't go there and start telling, I was hoping to get a raise. And then the funniest thing is that people who get that raise have had that conversation. And then you see someone you were employed the same year, steps ahead, being promoted because they are using the same psychology. But you didn't. And then instead of going to do the same thing, you are there envying, being malicious, backbiting the person that is being promoted. That's how people are promoted. You didn't ask. And then don't go around saying and complaining to everybody. You see now, I should have been promoted 3 years ago. 2 years ago, I wasn't promoted. Now I'm not promoted. They have promoted. That guy just came 3 years ago. They promoted him 2 times. I have not been promoted for 5 years. Nah, that's not what you should say. What you should say is, based on the value I have delivered and the market rate for my role, I'd like us to discuss adjustment for my compensation. That's what you should say. That's what you should say. Because your company is not a charity organization. You've got to have the receipts. And nobody is keeping those receipts for you. Talking about the value impact. Nobody is keeping those receipts for you. You keep it. And remember, I told you earlier on that the company banks on your silence. And they bank on the fact that you will never speak. You may be murmuring, gossiping, sending toxic emails, whatever. That is still silence because you haven't said anything. They will keep quiet because you're just gossiping, talking with yourself and other people. Okay, so what you can do, there's a framework I call the CAR model, CAR. The C stands for context, that is your role. A stands for achievements, what you've done, and then R stands for request, your desired raise or range, because you've got to know that. So practice this sentence in front of a mirror until you become very comfortable. Say it often. Practice it until you become comfortable with it, because many times it's just that sense of awkwardness we feel when we stand discussing this subject with our managers that make us not to. But if you actually practice this, it can help you. So you can say, I'd love to continue bringing results, and I believe the right next step is aligning my compensation to reflect my value, to reflect that value. So in other words, you're actually future pacing them. I would like to continue to bring results, to the organization. And I think that the very right next step to do is to align my compensation to reflect this value. Okay, so practice it. So never let the fear of awkwardness cost you years of earnings. Some of you have worked in this place for 7-8 years. And then your awkwardness, your fear, your timidity has cost you tens of thousands of dollars in unearned income, all because you did not ask. Okay, so the next session, you can say, Obo, what if I ask and then they object? How do you handle pushback and objections? Because many of these people in HR, and if you're HR here, you can actually confirm, they are trained in negotiation. They are trained. The HR professionals are trained in negotiation. And you are likely not trained, given the kind of training that they have been. So they are going to object. They are going to push back. And it's deliberate. It's part of their training. They may know that you are bringing a valid conversation. They are going to push back, hoping that when they push back and then object, you say, okay, I'll just go and continue where I've been. Okay, thank you. They're hoping for that. No. But how do you handle that? So remember that Every objection is just a hidden invitation to restate your value. So you just said it one way, they pushed back, they objected. It is not final. It is just an invitation for you to be able to restate your value in a different way. Let me show some of the common pushbacks. Before I say some of the common pushbacks, if you've been following, type in the comment section. Have you ever asked your organization, your company, for a raise? What did they say? How did they push back? What was the objection? Type in the comment section. Very quickly, type in the comment section and then just put your country in bracket and I will read that. Have you ever asked for a raise from your manager and then you got objections? Say yes and then let me know what was the objection. So this is a practical coaching session. So let's learn from you. Okay? Have you ever asked for a raise and you got a pushback? Okay. Yeah. A friend Mohammed said, I've never asked because it's a government office. Regardless, I get you. Okay. Who else has asked and what was the pushback? Okay. Beth said, I haven't asked. Whoa. All right. Okay. In fact, if you've never asked for a raise, type in the comment section. Let me just get some little poll. Type in the comment section, I have never asked or I haven't asked. Type in the comment section. If you've never asked for a raise before, all of you. Okay, just type I've not asked. Those who have never asked, just type I've not asked. So I've gotten a couple of I've not asked. I even have I've never asked. Whoa. I have not asked. I can guarantee if I ask you right now, all of you who said I have never asked, if I asked you right now whether you are underpaid, I can guarantee that 99% of you will say yes, you are underpaid. Because the way I get to know people who are underpaid are people who have never asked for a raise. And I know that in the Western world, they are more comfortable. It seems that it's part of a system asking. But for some reason, in most African economies and countries, we are just, I don't understand it. We don't ask. People work all their lives and never once asked for a raise. But they're always hoping for promotion, hoping for salary raise. I find it extremely, what's the word? I find it disconcerting. And then the same people will go home complaining to their wives or to their husbands, oh, these people don't pay me well. But you've never asked. Okay, so let me see. I think somebody said that they have asked and I asked and they refused. Samson said I asked, they refused. So I rejected the offer. Fantastic. You kept your self-esteem. Okay. Hazel and Timor is asking how to ask if you're overqualified from the role you applied for. All right. So that's another thing that I mentioned at the beginning. I'm not sure if you joined us at the beginning, but you can always go back to watch this. The employer is banking on two things. Remember, I mentioned it at the beginning. They're banking on the fact that you are afraid, you are going to be afraid to ask because you will lose the offer if you ask. That's the fear. And then the second thing they bank on is your silence, just hoping that you just keep quiet so that they can pocket the money. And so you're feeling overqualified, but being overqualified may not necessarily mean that you are not adding value. The conversation should always focus on the value, because even if you are taken for a role and you can demonstrate value in that role, value that wows the management, they are the ones that will come begging you not to go and telling you that they will raise your salary. That's why I talked about the value impact. The value impact is your most powerful asset as a 9 to 5 person. Yeah, so I might accept it because I'm overqualified and then the offer is not very good. But once I get in there, if the company, for instance, is making $1 million in the year, and I get in there, and as a result of my contribution, these people made, traceable to me, they made $1.2 million. Do you think they are going to let me go if it's traceable to me? Meanwhile, they know that you are so valuable, if they don't up the game, that you're going to leave them and go to a better place. Now, you now have even a better footing because you've accepted, you're coming from somewhere to ask for a raise. And you will use the same story as you are going. You know how this company was doing $1 million. And then I did this, I did this, I changed their processes. I used my overqualification to change this, to change that. And then they made $1.3 million. That's the value impact. Okay. Festus says, on starting work, after leaving my former place of work, they failed to pay what we agreed on. Okay. All right. So let me tell you the common pushbacks. They said, we don't have budget right now. Or they say, okay, let's revisit this in 6 months. Or they say, you're already at the top of the range. That's a very, very common one. They tell you, oh, but wait a minute, you're already on the top of the range. You know, some companies have A, B, C, D, E, F, or something kind of. Some others have level 1, level 2, level 3. Like when I was in Chevron, they were using numbers. Some companies use letters. And they tell you, oh, you're on level 3. You're already at the top of the range. These are the pushbacks. How do you respond? How do you handle that? Very, very calmly, clearly, nicely. I understand. Could we work together to define clear metrics or milestones that would justify the increase? And that's why I liked my career in Chevron and in Shell. Because at the beginning of the year, we usually have, we sign a contract, I don't know what it's called right now, you know, with your manager. Key job responsibilities or something, I forget. It's been a long time. I left Shell in 2006, 2008. But basically, you're sitting down with your manager and you are agreeing on deliverables. These are the things that we're going to deliver, and whatever is delivered usually connects. Like some of you who are familiar with balanced scorecard, the organization has balanced scorecard. So at the top, there's really like 2, 3, 4 things that the organization wants to accomplish within the year. And every department now draws their activities and their contributions toward that goal. So if the goal is to reduce production, oil barrel is to reduce it from $20 per barrel at that time to 18. Every other person, the finance, the geomatics, which was my department, the geomatics department, the geologists, the petrophysics, all of those will be focused on what are they going to contribute to make that happen. So in your own team, you agree with the manager, I will deliver this, that. And at the end of the year, they say they grade you based on, did you underperform? Did you meet expectations? Did you exceed expectations? So it's very helpful to sit down and talk with your manager. When there's a pushback, you can say, okay, I understand. Can we work together to clarify and define the metrics and the milestones that if we arrive, this raise, I'm asking you, from $5,000 to $6,500 will become possible. You know, so that way you are not shutting the door. Because if they just push back and then you go, that's it. It's going to be difficult to raise the conversation again. But if they push back and then you answer them the way I've taught you, then you are setting the table. So remember, if you don't negotiate now, you'll be financing their budget shortage with your silence. Okay. Final session, what to do if they say no? If they say no, what do you do? Remember that A no is never the end. It's the beginning of leverage. So sometimes you will ask, and then the answer is no. Don't panic. Don't panic. This is what you can do. You can ask for non-cash compensations because they also matter. Non-cash compensations could be extra days off. It could be some training. It could be some flexible hours. By all means, make sure you come with something. It could be for some kind of bonus opportunities, additional work, or what do they call it? Extra work or something. No, over. What do you call when you're supposed to earn to end work at 5 and then you work further? What do you call it? It's been a long time I was in this 9 to 5 thing, so I've forgotten. So you can ask for non-cash compensations and then ask them, for instance, what are the metrics that would justify a raise in the future? If they say no, okay, what are the metrics? What are the things that you will use, that we can agree on to justify? Oh yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, John. So over time, so you can ask for such opportunities. What are the metrics that would use to justify a raise in the future? Number 3, if they say no, sometimes it can be an insult to your person, because if you're confident in your ability and your skill, then you should start quietly exploring other offers. You have to know your market value. And then if you know, because if you, that's why I encourage people to join professional bodies. When you are in an professional association for your people, your dentist, there are dentist associations, you're a medical doctor, there are that, your cybersecurity, there are professional organizations, belong to them. Because when you go for those conferences, and do go for those conferences, don't let your company hunt you down. Ask them to pay for you to participate in those conferences. If they refuse, sponsor yourself to go there. Because if you are just in there, caged in there, you wouldn't know what's going on in the industry, and you wouldn't know the opportunities there. And then sometimes, actually, when you attend those conferences, those professional conferences, that you see other offers, you might just go there, see, there's an offer. This company is making this offer, and it is twice what you're currently earning. And what they require, you can actually deliver that 10 times. So that's a very important opportunity. So don't stay where you are tolerated and underpaid. I don't know how many, you're doing more harm to your future than good, staying in a company, in an employment that literally abuses your identity and your value. Don't stay where you are tolerated and underpaid when you can go where you are respected and well compensated. Can you imagine between a place you are tolerated and underpaid and a place that you are respected and then well paid? What should you choose? But then, why are 95% of you in a place where you are tolerated and underpaid? That is double whammy, double abuse. They're tolerating you and you're underpaid. So ramp up your value. Okay, so let me recap the challenge, 7-day challenge, 7-day salary raise challenge. So day number 1, list your top career achievements. Day number 2, research your market value for the same role. Day number 3, build your impact inventory. And I tell you, especially in today's labor market, people don't care your qualification. Have you noticed? People don't really care these days. They used to. And some of the big companies stopped like many years ago, like around 2019, 2020. Google and some of those other companies stopped caring about your college qualifications. But what you can do, because there are guys who didn't go to college, but they are top when it comes to AI, to high-level computer programming, to something. Guys who didn't go to, many people, computer programmers, they didn't go to any school, but they are really good. Very, very good. So these days, people care, especially when it comes to such IT skills. They care about what you can do, what you can deliver, not what list of qualifications that you have. So build your impact inventory. Day number 4, craft your negotiation script. You have to prepare for negotiations because the guys you're going to negotiate with, that's your manager. And then the HR people, they have attended negotiation courses before you were born. So you'd better prepare your negotiation script. Day number 5, role play with a friend. Yeah, role play. And if you're married, role play with your husband, role play with your wife. That negotiation script. Day number 6, schedule that value conversation with your manager. And then day number 7, debrief, reflect, and then act on the outcome for you. So if this conversation hit home for you, say so. Tell me what your aha moments are in the comment section. And then I promise that I'm going to develop some worksheet to actually help you. And I will make it free to actually help you to implement what you have learned tonight. Because for many of you, I will repeat it, if you must trade your time for money, you might as well make it worth it. You might as well make it worth it, okay? All right. Okay, what was your aha moment? It's usually our ritual. What was your aha moment? What hit home for you? What made it for you? Type it in the comment section. I'm going to read a couple of that, and then we round up the session. And then while I do that, I have a paid mentorship group called the Financial Fitness Challenge. It is monthly. We are currently recruiting right now, so enrollment is open today. And so if you are saying, oh boy, I want you to hold my hand, I don't want to spend years trying to figure this thing out. Just give me the shortcuts and then cut off all the facts and theories and just let me start making money. Let me start preparing for with confidence for retirement, or like I'm introducing the concept of mini retirement. In fact, my first mini retirement is coming in 2 years. I started 3 years. I started preparing for it 7 years ago. A mini retirement means that you don't have to wait until you're 65 to retire. You can retire every 7 years or every 10 years. And you have 9 years to prepare for 1 year of retirement. You can do that. So if you are that person and you want me to hold your hand, then you need to join. It is $125 US. You pay just once and then belong to that group forever. I don't see any better offer in the internet, and I really made it so accessible to people from all over the world so that there's no excuse. Because if you go for similar mentorship opportunities with Alex Homozy or with Russell Brunson, you can't even afford those guys. Or like my friend Lisa Sasovich, I attended her program in San Diego. And then she's doing a similar thing, but for $100,000. $100,000. And I'm saying for just the price of your dinner, one dinner in a good restaurant, I don't even know where you're going to get $125 dinner. I don't know what good restaurant you're going to do that, like a proper, really good one. For that one dinner, to give your future 1 million more dinners, I don't know what you're waiting for. So it is $125, but if you are joining immediately after this, you can pay the early bird offer, which is $105, $20 totally off. Or if you are in this part of the world, 125,000 Nigerian naira. And it doesn't matter. We have people from Kenya, South Africa, everywhere. So we will send you a link that will translate to your own currency. And then you can pay and join. If you are that person, send me early payment details. That's all. Just early payment details. Send it to this WhatsApp number. And I'm always giving this WhatsApp number because I'm aware that so many people are impersonating me online and then sending people to fake WhatsApp where they are being scammed. So that's why I keep mentioning this WhatsApp number, because if it's not from my mouth, not AI, from my mouth like now, then it's not me. +234 8088 000111. So do that right now, and then you can get started in the next 30 minutes. All right, I've got some aha moments here. Okay. Samson says, know your value. Don't let situations to hold you down. Okay, very good. Trump P says, my retirement is coming soon. All right. Okay. Best grade says, employers bank on employees' fear and silence. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Someone says, so I respect you and admire your openness to our question. I want to thank you for that. You're welcome. Yet I have heard this many times over and over again. I want you to tackle this from a perspective. All right. So what you might want to do is come back here tomorrow to get the worksheet. Why you continue to hear and you're not getting result is because you're not executing. And then many times a simple thing to just solve your problem. Look for someone. I'm not talking about me. Look for someone who has solved the problem you are trying to solve. Pay to be free. Call the person. Ask the person, how much is 1 hour with you? I'm having this same challenge that you had. I would like you to tell me exactly how to do it and to save it. Many of you are wasting 5 years waiting to figure it out on your own or looking for some freebie somewhere that will magically do it. If you've been hearing something and you have not done it and it has not benefited you and you are suffering, find somebody who has done it. Pay. Find the money. Pay the person. Say, teach me. That's the quickest way to success that I know. What a beautiful way to draw the curtain tonight and to thank you for spending this time with me. Whatever happens, keep showing up because you never know what's coming your way next. And I will see you exactly same time tomorrow. God bless you.